I suspect, again, you're going to pretty well be on the circle. So the headgear is kind of what we're looking here. We're trying to find relaxed and comfortable and all of that. And this horse does tend to want to, this is a small thing, but it kind of wants to drop that inside shoulder. There's a little too much weight on the inside shoulder. So you could sit a little more to the outside on the outside seat bone and help free that shoulder up a little bit. Okay. Why don't you stop a second, and I want to talk a little bit about something. So, and I don't want you to feel judged or attacked or anything like that when I say this. I just want to point out, this is one of the things that we see from a little too much contact. Do you notice that your horse turns with its poll and not its chin? Okay. I would say that comes from this. He has basically been trained. Any of y'all ever see if you pick up a chicken and you do this with the chicken's body, the chicken's head stays right here. Y'all ever see that? Yeah. It's true. I'm not joking. Is there a chicken here we can play with? We're going to do that at lunch. That horse has been trained through contact that his chin is the chicken's head. So he has been taught that his chin is to stay 18 inches from his chest and relatively in the center. And so when you ask for a right-hand turn, he's doing it like that. And if you ask for a left-hand turn, he's doing it like that. But the chicken's head stays here. He needs to break free from that, which is going to be one rein at a time. And you're actually going to ask for him to violate a rule for a little while, just because you kind of have to break these chains a little bit. And he may well have some neck issues kind of from assuming that posture for too long, where you might have to strengthen and stretch some things to kind of get him out of that. So you have a different horse and a different set of problems, but really what I've been suggesting for the saddlebred and the pain is kind of what you need to be doing too. One rein, and really almost asking him to twist a little bit. That's involving the second cervical vertebra back there if you wanted to get technical about it. But because he has that issue of wanting to do this, you see what happens to my shoulder when I do that? So he is standing on that inside leg, which also means he's going to be transferring weight to the fore instead of the hind, and he's a little disengaged. So if we had a drone looking down on you, even though you're trotting a pretty good circle and those railroad tracks that we talked about are pretty tight, your horse's front end is on a slightly smaller circle than his hind end is. If he was collected, it would be just the opposite. Does that make sense? So this is not a big critique for you. You are working on small stuff, but that is what I see with this horse. Okay. It's the chicken with the head. I mean, he has been trained that his jaw is not to move from this spot. And it's going to take some time and some work to fix that. That's the big thing I would be working on with this horse. I can guarantee a lot of the relaxation and freedom of movement stuff that I'm looking for in him is going to show up through that process. Okay? So let's trot this circle again, kind of with that on the mind. We're going to do both, so dealer's choice. Okay, so really think of one rein at a time. Let that outside rein go. That's all right. Fight that fight. It's going to get a little ugly before it gets better. He is. A lot of times the ugly stuff is the thought process. It's the horse looking for. And sometimes we don't want to allow it to get ugly, but that's really a necessary part of it. So see, her circle got bigger. He got a little faster. His head got a little higher. And I can promise you to her, all those things are like fingernails on a chalkboard. But you just got to live with it, right? You see her grinning right now. Nailed it, huh? Just let it happen. All right, now let's bend into a stop. And don't let go of that rein until I say. a little bit like keys of a piano. There. Now let go, now let go, let go, let go, let go. Okay. You went to on the buckle. I love that. I don't care what he does right now. Don't touch it. And again, more advanced horse. Yeah, he stayed on the right. He didn't leave her. He didn't walk off. He stopped very nicely off of her seat. So I'm not saying you got a train wreck on your hands here. You know, understand that's not where I'm coming from. But what you do have is a very well-developed habit that is not actually a good habit. And so he is trained. I mean, convinced that that's the right thing. So you have some, well, if you trust in what I'm telling you, you have some untraining to do, which is always an uphill battle because he thinks he's got the right answer right now, but that right answer is actually kind of detrimental to him physically and certainly within the picture that we would want to present when we're riding. Okay, so let's reverse and we'll do the same this way. This would be a horse too. I don't know if you're familiar with a crest flip. A crest flip? Okay, well, I won't get into that then. But he would demonstrate that very well. Okay, y'all see how busy his mouth is getting? He's not happy with this. Why is he not happy with this? Because you're asking him to get his jaw where he knows he's not supposed to. It's like telling him to pee his pants and it's the right thing. It's just not going to feel right. It's going to feel wrong and awkward, and so that's what all of this body language is telling us. Correct. This is a way better picture in certain aspects. It's kind of ugly in others. So. Okay. Looking good. Just keep doing what you're doing. We're just looking for him to relax a little bit more. And I know she can pinpoint stop him. As soon as she sits, he's going to shut it down. So I can be very specific about what I'm looking for before I tell her to stop. Little less outside rein, a little more bend, a little more inside leg. Remember, we're trying to work on getting that chin away from his chest, kind of more toward the point of the shoulder and out a little bit. Okay, right there, let's stop. It's totally coincidental that that's roughly the same part of the circle I stopped you on last time. He kind of released a little bit right over there. That's why I shut you down. All right, let's bend him just one more time. Let's bend him to the left. And hold him and don't release until I say. There you go, release right there. Good. So I find he's a little worse to the left than he is to the right. So that's I would be working on those sorts of things with him, but I would live in the house of lateral flexion and trying to take that chin away from chicken head territory, if that analogy speaks to you at all. Okay. One of the things